What is going on, guys? Troy here, WeightGainNetwork.com, and I got an exciting video for you today. I'm gonna break down how to gain muscle without gaining any body fat. So, number one, we're gonna get into how many calories you need to consume every single day. Then we're gonna get into the macronutrient breakdown, how many grams of protein, carbs, and fats you need to consume. Then we're gonna get into some X factors. We're gonna go into the carbohydrate timing and a few other crucial things that you need to consider to gain muscle without gaining any body fat. So this is a very tricky thing, by the way, gaining muscle without gaining any body fat, because I've seen so many guys that brag about how big they can get during bulking season, but I look at them and they have 50 pounds of body fat on them, and then when they try to cut, they have way too much body fat, so they have to cut their calories way too low, which causes them to actually lose muscle mass when they're cutting, because they have to go on such an intense caloric deficit. So this is gonna be a little blueprint so you guys can gain muscle mass without gaining any body fat. So make sure you guys take some notes. I'm gonna break down some math in this video and help you guys kind of have an understanding. So at the very end of this video, you're gonna have actionable steps. You're gonna know exactly how many calories you need to consume. You're gonna know your macro breakdown. You're gonna know what type of macros to consume, as well as carbohydrate timing. So let's dive right into it. So since I'm not personally coaching you, I don't know your metabolism and all the X factors like your hormones and your activity level every single day. We're gonna do a little thing that I call guesstimate and check. So what I want you to do is take your current body weight and multiply it by 15. So if you're 150 pounds, you're gonna take 150 times 15. And my expert math skills tell me that is 2,250. So what this number is a guesstimate on your maintenance calories. Now, obviously to gain muscle mass, we need to have a slight caloric surplus. Now, the key word is slight. We can't have such a high caloric surplus that we're gaining a bunch of body fat. So what I want you to do here is add between 500 and 1,000 to this number, and this is gonna be the amount of calories that you consume every single day. So add 500 to this number if you know you have a little bit more of a slower metabolism and you're not super active, so you're not going to the gym every single day. You know that you're a bit of a hard gainer, but you also pack on body fat, add 500. If you know that you are a serious hard gainer and you hardly pack on any body fat, you're super active, you're training all the time, add closer to 1,000 to this number. Now, this is the most important part, the checking part. So you're gonna do this for a week. And what I want you to do is weigh yourself, and you're gonna see how much weight that you gained after a week. So optimally, you wanna be between 0.75 and 1.25 pounds gained every single week. So this is gonna be the checking part. If you hop on a scale and you gain 3 or 4 pounds in 1 week, you're definitely gaining body fat, because you guys there's no way humanly possible to gain that much of muscle mass every single week. But if you're eating the right things and you're training the right way, you got the slight caloric surplus dialed in, you should definitely be between 0.75 and 1.25 pounds every single week. So most importantly, weigh yourself at the same time every single day. So once a week you're gonna weigh yourself, and always do it at the same time of the day. So if you're weighing yourself in the morning, the first time, when you check again how much weight you've gained, make sure you weigh yourself in the morning. If you weigh yourself at night, the time you check, weigh yourself at night. The reason for this is because, I don't know if you guys have actually weighed yourself throughout the day, but my weight fluctuates by about 5 pounds. So just to get really accurate results, make sure you drink about the same amount of water every single day while you're doing this, and weigh yourself at the exact same time. So now that we figured out exactly how many calories we need to eat, let's break down the macronutrient breakdown. So the macronutrient breakdown now to gain muscle without gaining any fat. Protein, carbs, and fats. So for protein, we want to be between 1 and 1.2 grams per pound that we weigh. So if you're 150 pounds, you're going to be consuming between 150 and 180 grams of protein. Now for carbohydrates, this is so crucial, and I'm gonna get into a little bit of carbohydrate timing after this step. For carbs, you wanna do anywhere between 2 and 2.25 grams of carbs for every single pound that you weigh. So if you're 150 pounds, that means you're consuming between 300 and 325 grams of carbohydrates every single day. And make sure you pay really close attention to the carbohydrate timing. Now for healthy fats, this is really crucial for optimal hormone production. So healthy fats is basically gonna be the remainder of the calories, and you want it to be between 25 and 35% of your total calories. So now that we got our macros figured out, and let me know if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below if you need a breakdown of how to figure this out. But now that we have that figured out, I'm gonna get into the carbohydrate timing. So this is so crucial, guys. For carbohydrate timing, you wanna make sure when your goal is building muscle, you wanna make sure that you have the majority of your carbohydrates for breakfast, pre-workout, and post-workout. If you're a really serious hard gainer, I would almost try to bookend and play around with this and try to consume the majority of your carbs post-workout if you can get by as far as your workout intensity and your energy goes pre-workout without eating a ton of carbs. So for me personally, I noticed that I grow a lot faster if I'm able to consume about 60% of my carbohydrates for the day post-workout, because post-workout, carbs have a very anabolic, and keep in mind, insulin is a very anabolic hormone. So if you can consume a lot of carbs post-workout, it's gonna really help optimize your muscle building. So what I like to do is, I'll go in the gym, I'll maybe have 50 to 100 grams of carbs in my system that day. I'll have a killer workout, and I'm able to work out really intensely on that carb breakdown. And then I'll kill my workout and I'll consume about 200 grams of carbs within the 3-hour window after my workout. So that's what works really good for me. Definitely suggest you try it out. Now, as far as what we're actually consuming, I wanna make sure that you guys are at least on an 80-20 diet of clean and dirty. Now, the reason for this is, keep in mind, we wanna gain muscle without gaining any body fat. So if 50% of our calories are dirty, obviously our hormones are gonna be out of whack. You're gonna have much lower testosterone levels when you're having your calories from Fruit Loops and Pop-Tarts and fried chicken versus eating them from grass-fed beef and sweet potatoes and broccoli and olive oil. So obviously 80-20 is a good little ratio because you can eat the foods that you enjoy and you still get about 80% of your calories from really high quality foods, so you can maximize your testosterone, your HGH, all that good stuff. So keep in mind, organic eggs, grass-fed meats, wild-caught fish for our proteins, egg whites, Greek yogurt, all really high quality sources of protein. And for our carbs, I'm personally a big fan of any slow release carbs whenever I'm trying to gain muscle without gaining fat. So things like oatmeal and brown rice and sweet potatoes, beans, lentils, things like that are awesome for our carbs. Healthy fats are the easiest to get in because they're really flexible. For instance, I can carry like almonds and peanut butter and almond butter with me anywhere I go. So nut butters and any type of nuts are great. Olive oil, coconut oil, avocado, all awesome sources of healthy fats. So that is basically a breakdown of how to gain muscle without gaining any fat. The biggest thing that I could say is just don't overcomplicate it, guys. It's not that hard. It's very simple. Just track your calories throughout the day, stay on your macro breakdowns. You guys are gonna find out that once you track things and once you have a structure, you're gonna have such better results. So let me know in the comments below what you think, and if you're looking for more tips on how to bulk up and gain lean muscle mass, head on over to weightgainmethod.com. See you guys real soon.